Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirit. Welcome home. This reading today is about the major shifts that are coming and what you need to know about them to prepare. Okay, pile number one, we have Sagittarius, Libra, Scorpio, and Leo. For pile number two, we have Pisces, Capricorn, Gemini, and Virgo. For the third pile, we have Aries, Aquarius, Taurus, and Cancer. Okay, I will give you a moment for you to choose your pile using the deck, the zodiac sign, or just your intuition. I will see you in your reading. Pile number one. Okay, let's see what are the major shifts coming ahead for you and what you need to know. Okay. So we have the Rar. The bodacious Boda. Maybe like this. And, oh, the fairy godmother. This is such a positive, beautiful card. You're being protected and guided. I think that you might also get a gift. Or this is something about your gifts. But let's see. I want to know more because the Rar and the bodacious Bodak, where do they come from? Okay, so what is the next major shift for pile number one? Okay. So, yeah, unexpected money. I would say that you might have a fortunate event. It might be related to material matters, but not necessarily. And you have a long way. Interesting. So I feel like there might be an opportunity opening up for you very soon, and it's something, I guess it will be something a bit unpredictable, and also something that you didn't really expect. You didn't plan for it. I'm not sure if you even considered it. It seems like it comes out of nowhere. Out of the blue. It might feel like an interference, but I'm not sure if that interference let's see if it is positive. Okay. Or someone is intervening or something. Wow, you have the sun in Leo with fortune. So it seems like it's divine intervention, like having a lucky break, protection, moon in Aries, and also being protected with the fairy godmother. Wow. Moon in Scorpio with power. Sun in Gemini with versatility. So I feel like there might be a power struggle going on and you're going to benefit from it. That's interesting. Saturn in Taurus with ostentation. I feel like this is talking about material, something material. So something that you will, something that benefits your financial situation or your possessions in general, your material possessions will benefit from something that's happening that's a power struggle, and it seems like it's in the collective sphere or the sphere outside of your control, and it's something very large, like a large movement, a great shift in society or the economy or something like that. It seems like it's a power struggle, and you will find a way to adapt to it, and you will also be blessed with some kind of gift that will enable you to have a comfortable life. That's how I'm seeing this. And although a long way sometimes can be interpreted as something that will take a long time, or something that you're so close to achieving but you're not there yet, something that is missing on your path. Sorry for the focus. It's difficult today. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay. So sometimes it's interpreted like that, but what I am seeing here is that it's almost like you're getting a boost so that you can continue on your journey. And your journey is like blessed with little clues and with signs and gifts that will guide you and protect you from harm, from this possible like power struggle in the structure of the financial world or the monetary system. I don't know, something that has to do with money. I do feel like it has to do with money, the management of money, but it can also be represented as managing property or real estate, something that means money, something that can be converted into money. I feel like you're going to benefit from some sort of change in that. I don't know what it is. It seems like such a down-to-earth reading and specific, so let's see if we can keep this up, like with maybe some actionable advice or something. 10 of Swords. There's worry about this. Either there's worry about someone having power over your finances, or you losing control over your finances, or like it's like feeling that there's interference there, that there's some kind of energy meddling with that. But if you feel like you don't have your grounding yet in this regard, or you don't have a lot of control over the material aspects of your life, I do feel like you're going to have the next major shift for you is that you're going to have a gift regarding that. So it can be the gift of harnessing that power and controlling that power. It can also be accumulating more resources so that you can have a more like a stable and more plentiful life, and that you can continue on your journey. We have Death. I do feel like there's an adaptation, like you have to adapt to a new situation, new financial situation. Four of Swords. Three of Cups. But it does feel like it's a good situation. It feels like it's like I found a way to do this that is calming, and it brings me a sense of stability also in my mind. Like I don't have to worry about this anymore. I found a way to adapt to this change, and it's one thing, one less worry that I have. The Five of Wands. And the Two of Cups. That's so interesting. So it's going from feeling like you have to compete or that you have to fight for everything, and into a more smooth or flowy situation. Like there's a recognition of who you are and what you need and how you feel good, like what makes you feel good and what makes you joyful, even in sharing with other people. So you might find so maybe you're going to find people with whom you're not competing with, and with whom you can collaborate in a way that's not stressful. What I'm seeing here is just less stress and turning competition into like friendship. Transforming competition into friendship. Into like loyalty. Something like loyalty. And with unexpected money. Maybe you weren't thinking about making money when you were, or anything financial for that matter, or material, when you were like meeting a person or speaking to someone. You were just sharing, and then you realized that that collaboration could turn into something beneficial for your material situation too. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I do feel like it's someone who is very knowledgeable of the material aspect of life, and who can show you some love in that regard. Wow, Blessings of Babaji. This is a card that's kind of it elevates the energy. So when it comes up, we have to choose another card, because this is not a tarot card, and whatever it touches, it elevates the energy. So it's right in the middle of the reading, so it will touch almost all of your cards. That's interesting. And it's the Empress. So this is Lakshmi, and this has to do with your material abundance. I do feel like this reading is all about finances and material, but also to match the spiritual, to match the spiritual with the material, because it's really difficult to be truly abundant if you're doing something that you hate, right? Or that is contrary to your soul, to your soul's purpose, to your sense of meaning in life. So right in the middle of the reading of the tarot section, you have this great sublimation of the energy that's related to money. Two of Pentacles. To me, the Two of Pentacles here is business. It's just that back and forth of negotiation. The King of Swords. The Tower. The Ten of Wands. Okay. Super clear. And the Lovers. Interesting. So this is telling me, don't be afraid to completely change your plans around money, or how you how you see your material abundance and your approach to money in general. It goes for the deepest levels as well as the practical. So don't be afraid now to change something there, because from what I see in this reading, and this is of course not financial advice at all, this is just a tarot reading, and it does have to resonate with your life and with your specific case for it to be useful. So of course, take this into your interpretation of this. This is telling me to not be afraid to completely change, everything you do to make money. Change your job, change your career, change the method to sell everything and just do something completely different, like invest in something, try something else. And especially if you do have someone to talk to about this, because if you have met someone who is an expert and who is established, who is knowledgeable, and who also loves you, like they share with you and you share with them as an equal, and it's a respectful situation, and you have all the knowledge you need from this person to feel like they're reliable. And so you must feel that trust. Okay, you must feel that that comfort, and it's like feeling peaceful. Like if you feel peaceful around this person, and if this person has this kind of motherly energy, kind of embracing, and how do I say, it's not only nurturing in the sense of the mother that's just very accepting, but it's also really practical, like a very down-to-earth, pragmatic person that can just do things and not compete with you or try to change something in you. Like there's an acceptance, there's a love that's very embracing, but also very pragmatic. So it's very flowy, it's very easy and very peaceful. So if you do feel like this is resonating, maybe it's an opportunity for you to change how you make money. And you might need to make a choice, because you have Two of Pentacles and then you have the Lovers. So it's kind of, there's this balancing act that might need to be also different, because maybe you'll have to go from balancing to maybe two jobs or two different areas of activity, of whatever you do. You might need to choose one. And you have to choose something that gives you a lot of pleasure, and that and it's a part of this adaptation to the environment, adapting to the reality. around you, to the financial, the economy, the political, the macro, the macro movements. This choice might come to you as also a part of you fitting into the larger picture and being successful. And also this spirit, this nurturing spirit, this guiding light that is the fairy godmother, guiding you, and always leaving something for you to, you have your daily bread, you have your everything you need, your needs are met. There's no sense of lack. Very positive shift for you. Very, very positive. I'm very happy for you. It seems like you are being helped to, move forward, because it's a long way. It's a long way, and you need fuel. It's like you need this refuel, and I feel like you're getting it. And it's going to be a major change from feeling like there's something sabotaging you, that there's competition, or that there's ideas that are not matching yours, something that makes you uncomfortable, from feeling like you're blessed with a good, like a fairy godmother, with someone who can with whom you can exchange ideas, make business, be pragmatic, but also keep a sense of flow, and keep the love for what you're doing, to love what you are doing, to be in that moment also, and not be always kind of seeing if there's looking behind your back, like if there's something wrong, if there's something that I need to be worried about. And I feel like these ungrounded fears will dissipate with this energy, this new energy. But it will be a bit of a revolution also, if you choose to change, because I feel like you will be possibly confronted with the choice. It will mean that you might have to change something about what you had, previously strategized, planned, but it will be for the greater good, and it will be for the flow, for you to flow easily. Beautiful. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 2. Sorry for that. Let's see. The major shift, and how can you adapt? What do you need to know? What is now shifting for you? We have Leicester, Moon's daughter. The singer of connection. And the fairies of the future. Interesting. Okay. So, okay. Okay. We have success in love. False person. And, oh, sorry. The good lady. So, major shift for pile number 2. Okay, Sun in Leo with fortune. Jupiter in Virgo with patience. They're similar, right? There's something, it's like the vegetation in the dress, the colors. Something's growing patiently, slowly. Then you have Saturn in Gemini with concentration. Moon in Pisces with empathy. Saturn in Aquarius with eccentricity. And Sun in Capricorn with achievement. There's something here about keeping a secret. Keeping a secret. I also feel like there's this psychic connection with someone. There's a secret and there's a psychic connection. And with patience and the fairies of the future, it's like it's something that's slowly growing. It's something that you're like projecting into the future, like a long-term situation, but there's a psychic connection and a secret. The Queen of Pentacles. She's also like waiting patiently for something. And with all the vegetation, it's like waiting for something to grow. Waiting for something to grow that has its own time. Doesn't matter what you do. 10 of Wands. The Hierophant. And the 4 of Wands. Oh, okay. The 8 of Pentacles. And Strength. It takes a while. So something takes a while. Something requires patience. It requires you to have a very strong grasp upon it and to be kind of contained. There's an energy of containment, of waiting, of not expressing, maybe keeping things a secret for a while so that they have time to grow and they're not just, there's no interference from the outside. There's an objective here, the fairies of the future, and you have the achievement card also. So there's this consistent effort towards something. So what about the secret? Or what about this false person also? 10 of Cups. King of Pentacles. And Death card. So there is this projection of the future, like of the image of the ideal future, the perfect picture. And there's something that's changing about that. Maybe it's your idea of success, like your idea of achieving your goal. What is your goal? What does your goal mean to you? How do you get there? It seems more intuitive, but what does it mean and exactly why you are? It's like you forgot why, you know, when you've been working for a long time on something and you're just focused on doing, sometimes we lose the perspective. Like, but what am I working for? After all, what does it mean? What's the purpose of this? Why do I keep striving for this? Why? You know, there's something here about that that's possibly changing, like the way you see your objectives. So yeah, I do feel like you're changing your plans. There will be a change in plans. I think you'll realize that you have the wrong idea and you will make a shift because you will connect to something that is truer, and you will connect with something that will last longer, something that is possibly slower. It's like the energy is vegetable or something, or it can be like you can see the metaphor of the growing tree or the growing plant, and the connection with that idea is going to change your plans. You're changing your objectives. The Fool. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I do feel like you're not there. It's like you're not going to see this coming. There's something like some idea or an illumination or a moment of connection with something or someone that will change your mind. Like, no, I'm going to do this in a completely different way. This is the best way. It's the way that I know how to do things. It's my way to do things. The Six of Wands. So you have success in love and Six of Wands. So this is like success overall. And I do feel like when you change your mind, sorry for the focus, when you change your mind, maybe it's best that you keep those ideas to yourself for a while. Maybe it's best that you study or that you understand other implications. So that you understand what your achievement entails. So what your objective, what your real objective, your truest, most honest objective with whatever you're doing. I do feel like this is kind of substantial. So it seems like it's not something just specific or just that can be like described easily, let's say, and it's not materialistic or exclusively materialistic, although it might have a material aspect. I feel like this is it might change, it might mean a change in your life philosophy, like the approach, the general approach in your life. But there's an idea, like a very powerful idea that's related to that. It is specific at the end of the day, but it's something that has a lot of ramification and has a lot of implications, and that will ultimately also allow you to use your skills in a better way, like a more efficient, a more natural way. It will make you a step closer to your goal and to your success. And that's also one thing that I'm seeing here is that while it might feel like things are taking a long time, it feels like something now. So it's like you have a glimpse of the success you can have. Suddenly, like, okay, this is doable. This is the way to do it. And I will change some things about this, but I'm not going to tell everyone for now. I'm, being very careful with whom I share this with, because I do feel like it might be a little bit eccentric for some people. It might mean that some of them won't really understand immediately. So the people you talk to, you have the concentration and the empathy here. The people that you talk to will affect this somehow. And I feel like you also need to be careful with the energy with which you share this. I wish I could be a little bit more specific. The Six of Cups. The World. It does feel like it's ending a chapter in your life that had to do with how you were raised or something in your past or in memory. It feels like for now you're not aware of what it is. You're not aware of what might change. You're not yet aware of this glimpse, but you're going to get it very soon. I feel like you're going to get it. You might be getting it like during the reading or right after, but there's this now presence, okay? This focus on the right now. And it seems like you're going to get this vision that tells you, okay, I can do this right now. I can change this. But while you're at it and while you are waiting for the results to come and interacting with whatever you're doing, don't speak too much about it. Or if you do, choose the people with whom you do that very wisely and cautiously. Because there's something, unorthodox about what you're doing that might be misinterpreted and distorted, twisted. Because there's also one thing is that people will only see kind of the surface of what you're doing, and they won't understand the deeper implications, because it does have deeper roots, because it is a change in your life philosophy, but it won't be immediately apparent. It won't be understood easily. So maybe that's also the aspect of the waiting and the patience, okay? Because maybe people will also need a little bit of time to understand. So you give them the time to feel also intuitively the change in the energy without fully expressing, with words and with explanations or justifications of what you are doing. Just allow them to slowly understand and feel intuitively, and with their, the energy field around you or something, and in the collective psyche. It's like your presence changes before the results are visible to other people. And that's better. That's better for whatever you're doing. It seems like it needs a little bit of shielding, of protection for a while. Interesting. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, subscribe to the newsletter so we can keep in touch. And I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 3, excuse me. So your major shift and what you need to know about it. What do you need to know about your major shift? Okay. Wow, Fairy Godmother also came out in pile number 1, I think. Yeah. Gotcha. Interesting. And Sylvanus. Okay. Let's see. I think you're in for a surprise. It seems like it's a positive surprise. It's a revelation about someone or something. Let's see. Feeling like it's someone. Okay. So, success in love. Main person. Main person. It feels like it's something about a connection. It feels like a romantic one, not necessarily. It's possible also that both of you are in this reading. So both of your energies are here. So this reading is almost like for a couple, for a connection, for a couple. Super interesting. I don't think I ever felt like this in a reading. Like, this reading is for two sides of the same situation. And it seems like it's surprising. There's a lot of cards. Okay. Moon in Gemini with adaptability. Gemini, this duality. Fortune. Fortune came out in all 3 of the piles, which is great. Sun in Leo. Saturn in Sagittarius with fulfillment. Jupiter in Gemini with bluff. Saturn in Capricorn with riches. Mars in Aries with impulsiveness. And Jupiter in Scorpio with manipulation. Finally, we have Mars in Virgo with criticism. So we have Mars and we have Saturn. It's like two different perspectives of the same thing. But there's also some sort of, I wouldn't say disillusionment, but there is a truth that will be kind of unleashed. And that shift has something to do with that. That shift, where is it coming from? What is that shift about? The Chariot. The Three of Cups. And the Emperor. Okay. I don't know, because there are many energies here, or at least two very different ones. Like there's a push and pull here in this reading. Like I know that there's there might be some ego clashing, or a conflict of willpower. And it's not because the conflict in of itself is the important part. I feel like the temperament and the intention and the way people are, so their characteristics, their idiosyncrasies, their specificities, that's what is here in this reading. And I feel like that's the main focus, like the will of one and the will of the other, respecting each other, but also understanding that there are some limits to your actions. That it doesn't mean that you lose power. It just means that you kind of, sometimes you have to kind of cater to other people's desires or expectations. And it shouldn't be a way to I was going to say that it's not like transactional. It's honest. It's just, you know, spontaneous. It's the way people are. But there is some kind of transaction here. Okay, I'll have to get, it's like this is a really complicated situation. Okay. The Ace of Pentacles. Okay. And the Devil. So it seems like someone was hiding the truth a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it's there's an evil intention behind it. But there is kind of like a diversion. There's a diversion. There's some sort of maneuvering. I feel like there's someone trying to be diplomatic and adapt to another person who is more impulsive and who is more blunt and direct, forthcoming. And there's this dance between these two energies. And it's like it feels like the relationship requires effort. It requires the effort to be honest, the effort to be grounded in reality, the effort to keep in touch in a way that is there's like a pragmatism, like a need to be kind of down to earth, maybe with the expectations. Maybe one person has an expectation and the other has another one, and there's this kind of fight. And it's not only the ego, but it's also deeper aspects. There are truths that need to emerge. There's the recognition of the other, the recognition of other aspects of the other person and in each other. And I do feel like this is for those of you who are looking for relationships, who are in a relationship already. It can be a long time, like since you've been together, or you can be very deeply connected, but for now, or just now. And there's a shift in that relationship. There's going to be a shift, a revelation. It might also mean that things might get a little bit spicy. And if this is not what you want, you might be careful, because you might not see this coming. It might come like from out of nowhere, and it might seem a little bit uncontrollable. There is some sort of like impulsive energy, this forward movement, sudden forward movement, a sudden revelation, a sudden burst of energy. And it's like a truth that suddenly comes bubbling to the surface. And if you're unaware of this energy, it might come as a bit of a surprise, and it might also affect you emotionally and affect you psychologically, because it's so intense. If this is not the case, this might also be about the process of the creation in the real, and so turning something that is a desire, that is a dream, that is something that you've hoped for, or something that you've pictured in your mind, and turning it into a reality, because you also have the fairy godmother. So there's this immediate protection from the energy, from the soul, from spirit, from whatever you believe is at work here. I do feel like you're protected and you're guided, although you do have the devil. So there's this appeal to the material aspect. There's the appeal to the sense, the sensual, or the senses, the what you can experience with your body. And that might also be, it's like it's a testament to also the powerful bond between you and this person. So I don't see it as a negative thing, although there are some aspects not of this specific relationship, but there are some aspects of each of you that are need to be worked on so that the relationship can be healthy. I don't see this relationship as unhealthy. It seems like it's healthy, but there are some I wouldn't even say like shadowy aspects or shady, situations. I would just say that there's the tendency to want to make things go your own way, and for the other person this might also be valid, and that pressure can create disillusionment and resistance. Ace of Wands, the World, and the King of Cups. It seems like it's very, very passionate. There's a lot of energy in this relationship. It seems like it's fiery, and there's sparks and thunder and fire. There's a lot of energy going around. I feel like you have very particular temperaments, and they might clash a lot, but it's almost like a part of that forward movement. It's a part of your own personal evolution also, so you're like using each other to evolve, but sometimes it might be a little bit turbulent, a little bit. There are some surprises. There are some surprises that can be pleasant, and some surprises that are not so pleasant. And but I do feel like you're always able to extract something valuable from this. It doesn't seem like it's a pathological or codependent, as some people like to use that word. I'm not a big fan of that word. That's my own personal approach to this psychological reality. But to be too involved with the other aspects, with the other person, so that you end up confusing your energy with the other person, and then when you want to move forward, it's weird. It's like the chariot isn't moving so smoothly, let's say, because you have baggage. You have something that's not yours that is hindering you. Five of Swords. Knight of Wands. And the Three of Swords. Okay, we have one more. The Moon. Interesting. I feel like there's something here about dealing with distance, dealing with separation for some of you, or dealing with the hurts. If this is a relationship that has lasted for a long time, it might mean that this has something to do with arguments that come up with energies from the past, like past hurts, like remember when you did this, remember when we went through that. And there's still a little bit of, there's a lingering sensation, and it's also about the body. Okay, so I do feel like there's something in the body that needs to be healed. There's a memory there that needs to be transformed into something else before you move forward. There is the will to move forward, but there's something there yet that needs to be, you need to sit with. Maybe some sort of grief, or saying goodbye to something or to someone, or, you know. So there's a transformation here that means that you're saying goodbye to something. The forward energy, the energy to move forward, is not compatible with that pain. Maybe you need to share that pain. Maybe you need to, or maybe the other person is sharing something painful with you. And it comes as a revelation. It comes up as the truth about something, because you have Sylvanius here. So there might be something painful coming up, but it doesn't destroy the relationship. So whatever it is, it ends up creating something. You have the Ace here. And it's something very stable, and it's something very reliable. It can be. Then you have the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like it's something that you will one day look back and consider amazing. It's like, what a great, profound transformation that we lived through, or that I was able to perform on myself, or that happened to the other person. This transformation that allowed me to grow so much and to transform into this powerful person, into someone who is so much. Also, I feel like this is about emotional stability. It's like you can hold yourself together now. You don't need to bend, things, or you don't need to need to deny yourself certain things so that you can kind of shift and sneak in between the danger or the arguments or something like that. So it's like you don't need to walk on eggshells. You can be straightforward, and you can be much more. You can embrace so much more of your own power, and that's also why you have the Emperor here. I really don't feel like the Devil has any of the usual negative aspects here. I do feel like this is much more about the body, the body, your senses, the passion, living that passion, and also about the everyday life, the everyday creation of the bond, even the physical bond, the physical creation of a relationship. So the physical reality, the physical aspects of a relationship. But I do feel like before that comes, there needs to be a communication, a transformation. There needs to be a, how do I say this? A reevaluation of the acts of kind of self-preservation and maybe a little bit of unfairness that still carry that you still carry as some kind of sorrow, or they're there, right? They're in your energy or in the other person's energy and memory. There are some, like, there might be a tendency to kind of revert to a way of thinking that is kind of defensive and that might be vengeful, and it's it's not supposed to be a part of the relationship, not only because it's unhealthy, but it's also unhealthy for the person, the individual, and it's also preventing you from achieving the connection, from the truth of the connection to emerge naturally. And that creates fear, and that creates a distance. That creates distance. So I feel like this is a story of removing the things that create distance and reconnecting, or connecting if you're in search for a relationship, and this might be inspiring you, or there's something like in your energy right now, or someone who is possibly connecting to you. And I feel like this is a way to come together, a way to make all the pieces of the puzzle fit without disrespecting and without stepping on, dangerous territory, or triggering the sense of fear, of suspicion, or sorrow, because there's something in the past there that really needs to be addressed before that connection turns into something physical also. So I do feel like this is also telling you that if you do have this in your life right now, when the physical happens, it would be great that this spiritual, emotional, and psychological aspect would be addressed, so that when the connection comes, it's really the beginning of a new chapter for you, for both of you. It's deeply transforming for both of you. It's like a rite of passage. It's something that's really true and really pure. It's almost like tending a fire and giving it the right fuel so that it's sustainable in the long term, and it also burns bright right now. There's a truth in that light, in that fire, that also helps you grow as a person, and helps the other person grow as a person. So you're like tending to a fire, and the way what you feed to the fire, and the way you speak to each other, the way you treat each other, it transforms the fire into like a symbol of your connection. And when you touch physically, even the power is the power of that fire, and it's the quality of that moment is a reflection of the quality of that fire. So this ended up being kind of a relationship reading. So it might not resonate for some of you who are not in a relationship and are not looking for a relationship, but I do feel like that's the honest thing to say here, is that this is for people who are in relationships or that want to be in relationships. Okay. A beautiful new chapter that can unfold for you and for the other person. Beautiful. Thank you so much for this. And if you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter so we can keep in touch. And I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.